Okay, I am streaming a Dominion game being played between three players: Tetron, Kazoo from Pompon, and Dokoshoka. And it's an unrated game, and three players, and I think they don't know each other. Okay, in this game we've got Vampire and Haggler. So Vampire can help with trashing. Exorcist can also help with trashing. Urchin can also help with trashing. So people might be able to set up an engine. Herald lets you take a card and play your next action. And Coin of the Realm also gives you actions. So Haggler lets you buy two cards at once, so it's a bit like having a buy. What can actually give you cards? So if we're going to set up this engine, not really count. So either just gives you card and an action. Desperation, what does that give you? You can gain a curse. That's not very exciting. Piazza, you play the top action. So I imagine people will go for that one. Ferry lets you, I think, exile a card and then get it. No, I'm sorry. Ferry lets you do, makes the cards cheaper. So if you're going to get a lot of cards from a particular pile. So which pile might you get a lot of cards from? It could be something like Herald, because you can, that gets you a card and an action, and then you play another action. And so normally I would want, if I'm wanting to get a lot of cards, then what does got to do? Gain a card. Yeah, so you could play a few of those. But it's something where you'd want it to be useful to have a lot of them, and for it to be cheaper. I mean, you could put it on like Pearl Diver and get it for free. And then what's limiting you is just the number of buys that you have. So where are we getting our buys from? Let's see, not that. Right, what are these people doing? They are getting a Herald and an Exorcist and an Urchin. So it looks, and Tetron's getting a silver. Yeah, Tetron, I think, doesn't completely believe in setting up a big engine each game, and so I imagine what will happen is he will race for victory points, and the others are maybe trashing things and going for an engine. So I might imagine him buying Piazza. Is that Piazza? Plaza? How's it called? Piazza, yeah. So he has done that. And why I thought he would was because he had been buying the Heralds. And so then you can get a lot of actions there. And I wonder if anyone's going to buy the Ferry as well. Okay, so Kazoo is doing an Urchin, which is an attack card, making you discard a card. And if you manage to play another attack card with it, you can turn it into a mercenary, which is a stronger attack card. I'll see if I can show you that one. Here's this mercenary. Trash 2 cards from your hand. So it's trashing and attacking because it's forcing everybody to discard down to 3 cards in hand. So that's quite a scary card. Sometimes you find you actually run out of your own cards to trash when you've got that mercenary. And so you kind of use it wisely. Okay. So Tetron's getting an Exorcist. So what does this one do? That is trashing again. You can get one of these cards. So you could, for example, trash your estates and get a Will-o'-the-Wisp. You can just get a cheaper card than what you've got. And the Ghost is actually pretty nice. The Ghost lets you play your actions right at the start of the turn. So if I can make that bigger. Yeah, reveal cards from your deck until you reveal an action. Discard the other cards and set aside. Play the action twice at the start of the next turn. All right, so this is very interesting then. This is right. Okay, so Doku Shoka is playing the urchin, and then the other guys have to discard a card. And then this person will choose what to buy. What am I going to predict? I think that Doku Shoka is looking to buy the heralds. And let's see, to set up an engine. One person only's got Coin of the Realm so far to get the extra actions. I quite like that card. Tetron's got it. Yeah. Dr. Shoka's having a think about what to get for the 3. I mean, it's possible to get the ferry at this stage, and make another card cheaper. I think he'd probably, he's probably wishing he had a 5 rather than a 4 and wanting to get a haggler, sculptor, or a vampire. I like the vampires. So my prediction is a herald, but we'll see what happens. Silver. Fair enough. Tetron's got the Pearl Diver. And he also already has a haggler. Somebody has a count. Who has the count? Kazu has the count and also has moved the cost token. I didn't notice. No, yes, there is a little green. Can you just see it? Just there, there's a little green arrow. So actually, Kazu can buy those counts for 3. So it looks like he might be planning to get a few of them then. That's nice because you've got a choice of what to get. You have a sort of bad thing that happens at the start of your turn and then a good thing. So, for example, you have to discard 2 cards, put a card on your deck or gain a copper, then you get a benefit, so a +3 or a trash or a duchy. So your benefit would typically change throughout the game. So you might start with wanting the +3s. Well, start with wanting the trashing, then move on to the +3s, and then move on to the duchies right at the end. Card that grows with you. Okay, Tetron's about to play. How's he going? He has got a vampire. So that's very nice. It lets you collect cards up to 5, and then it turns into a bat, and then you can trash from your hand. Actually, nobody has really set up that much of an engine, to be honest. Cashew got a vampire as well. A vampire is categorized as an attack. So say you were using this urchin and you wanted to convert it into the mercenary. Let me see. Is in play, you can trash it to game mercenary, but that doesn't quite work because this is a night card, so you would not be able to do that. So I've seen people doing an urchin and then another urchin in order to play the second attack card. That might be the only way to do it. So if he is wanting to do it, he will probably need to get a second urchin. Okay, 6. What would you get? Gold, maybe? Yeah, he's got a gold. And not a superb hand lined up next time. What's this toy like? Gets you a silver, I think. No, you can play an action card in your hand, but he doesn't have one, so he might be wanting to do that. Okay. Tetron is deciding what to buy for 4. He already has an exorcist. So I think he might, I was going to say get a silver. That's what I should do, always wait till he's actually done it and then make my prediction. That makes it always turn out right. Okay. Cashew has played an urchin, so everybody has to discard a card. No problem for Doku Shoka, no problem for Tetron as well, because it looks like he... I wonder if I can see all his hand. No. Okay, and Kaju did what I said some people do, which is playing a second urchin in order to trash the first one and get a mercenary. He's also now played his count. So remember, he has the ability to buy counts more cheaply. And what has he done with his count? He's done some trashing. Yeah, it's a good idea. He's trashed 2 estates. And so that'll help him set up this engine. Okay. Tetron is going for, I think he is going to go for money strategy. Yeah, get the golds and try and buy early provinces. So I would expect Tetron to have an early lead and the others be catching up, but catching up with hands that can cycle all the way through. So we'll see if that happens. Okay. And so, yeah, he hexed everybody. So everybody had, so you can see that the hex there in the top right. So discard an action or treasure or reveal your card. So everybody had to discard a good card, not just a victory point card. Okay, Cashu's having a think about what he wants to do next. Yeah, wow. And he was using desperation, and he's realized he's not that desperate and wants to do something else. I presume he hasn't got a very good hand this time. Oh no, he is doing the desperation in order to get a gold. He realized he wants more coins in order to get victory points, I suppose. Okay. And so he's done an urchin. This is Dokushoka has done an urchin and has a 4. 4 it is often a tricky number. You don't quite, the fives do tend to be a lot better. Dokushoka has got a herald, and with the vampire can get a card up to 5. Yeah. Oh no, he has managed to trash the urchin again. I wasn't sure if that worked. Yes, so he has managed to trash the urchin using that second attack card to the vampire. And with the vampire got a haggler. I'm saying he, I mean, these could well be she's. I know Tetron is actually a he. Yeah, okay, so Tetron has got 3. Is also doing the same trick, using this desperation in order to buy a card up to 5. And he will hope to be able to trash that curse later, maybe. Ah, no, he's done what? Yeah, okay. He's done what I thought he might at some point. Is he bought a haggler and then trashed it in order to get a ghost. Okay. Everybody's going to curse to the hand, and that's from the vampire. All right, and what did? Yeah, so Kaju actually chose a haggler as well from the vampire. Okay, so now nobody has bought any victory points yet. They've all got between -1 and 2 points, depending on whether they've managed to trash their estates and whether they have been receiving curses. They've been getting curses from hexes like the one you see there, the plague, gain a curse to your hand. Okay, Doku Stoker is deciding what to get with a 7. Could just simply be a gold. That might be a good idea. It's still just 1 buy. What else might you get? You could always do count to clear up your hand if you're finding you're getting lots of duff hands. Plaza he already has. What did he do? Did get a gold. Yeah, I thought he would. Okay, Tetron is hoping just for a lot of coins, I think. Okay, he's got 5. He does sometimes buy a very early estate. I don't think he will this time. I think it's still too early for that. What did he get? When I said estate, I mean duchy. So what did he get? He got Piazza as well. So that one lets you play your actions straight off. And he managed to trash 2 estates, so that's good. Takes him to a minus score because he's got some curses there that he wants to trash. And he's got his ghost waiting, so it could be, I guess, the ghost lets you play an action twice as well. So you could see a lot of actions from Tetron. Kazu, he has played the mercenary. So you want to trash with the mercenary. He's got curses, it seems. He's trashed coppers, and then he'll get 2 cards and 2 coins. So the curses came into his hand then, but he'll presumably be able to trash those at a later date with his mercenary. Everybody has to discard down to 3. So Dokushdoka here now just has the 3 points in hand and the back that enables him to trash. So he might decide, well, not getting much with this 3, I'll just trash the copper and improve my hand. Right, here's the count. Okay, he's top deck gold, so he's taking the gold out of his hand, so that suggests he's not looking to buy anything. But, oh no, he is. He's getting the +3 coins from the count. So maybe, so we've got 6. Maybe he wants to buy another gold. What's he done? He as well has bought Piazza. So all of them now can play an action at the start of his turn. He's got this one's got a coin of the realm, and he is going to go ahead and trash that copper. Okay, so Tetron has played his haggler. He's got 5, so when he buys a card he can get a cheaper one. Still nobody's got a province. We're on turn 11 now. There is some attacking, so that might slow down the game a bit, although things like Piazza should help speed it up because you can get extra actions. He has got an urchin. Everybody now has an urchin, and he's also getting a herald, so he will be able to play that sometimes at the start of his turn to get extra actions. And here comes the ghost. Okay, so first action you come to haggler. So at the start of his next turn he'll be playing this haggler twice, which will mean he can get a lot of cards if he wants them. And why not? I mean, things like, you can get things like Pearl Diver that don't clog up your hand. That is not a huge benefit. So you get plus card and action, and then you can put your bottom card to the top. So it is a benefit, and it doesn't clog your hand at all because you just do the card and action and you can get it replaced. Okay, what's Kazu going to do? He has his haggler. So none of them really have a hand where you can just kind of play the whole hand and buy the house. It's still quite slow. This one he has envious, so actually his gold only gives him 1 point, not 3 this turn. Okay. So he got a herald. Oh, sorry, he got a sculptor there. Yeah. Okay. So again, he's been hit by envious, so that gold only counts for 1 point, not 3. which must be a little disappointing because then he only has 5 rather than 7 that he would have had, he or she. So what to get? Well, again, you know, you could get a herald just because it doesn't damage your hand at all. Not many of them got sculpt. I would get a sculptor. Treasure, you can get a villager. Yeah, I suppose even an exorcist and trash a bit more because their hands are still looking quite clogged. Just having a think. And the vampire as well. They're quite fun because you can play them, gain a card, but also hex everybody. And then when you get the bat, you can trash your cards. What did we get? A sculptor. Okay, that was my suggestion. Let's see how it works. Doku Shoka. Okay, here comes the ghost. We remember that was a haggler, I think, that came out. Yes. So he at least starts the turn with 4. Plays his pearl diver. So actually, this if he's got a few coins there, we might see the first province now. Plays a gold 7. Yeah. 9. I would predict that Tetron would buy a province. Yeah, province and a gold. Okay. Fine. So an early lead for Tetron. Has he got, he can trash a curse and a copper as well. That's quite a nice turn. Okay. Yeah, so this thing about revealing the curse and top decking curse, this is from Piazza, I think, where they look at the first card and then if it's an action, they play it. So Kazu's first card was a curse, and it remains at the top of his deck. Okay, so mercenary, he managed to trash a curse and a copper, so that's good. And everybody has to discard down to 3 again. I guess all these cards like Urchin and Mercenary do slow the game down quite a lot because if you're always having to play off a 3 or 4 card hand, it's harder to get enough to get a province. For example, here, this one, he just had to discard a copper, so he would have had 8, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 with the copper, and now has just 7. So what's he going to do with the 7? Maybe a gold plus a card for 5, something like that. I think you can't use your haggler, I think, to get a card and then the cheaper card be fairy. I think it has to be actually buying a card. Excuse me. So what might you get? I'd be inclined to get a gold. Plus what? Maybe the counts. They're quite fun. What did he get? A gold and an exorcist. Yeah, that's fair enough. And that can trash and turn these cards into, for example, your ghost in Will-o'-the-Wisp. All right. So Kazu, what did Tetron actually do? Got a gold. Doku Shoka has disconnected and reconnected. That's fine. Okay. 3. Not so much exciting to be got with a 3. Could maybe No one's got a guide. I quite like the guides as well, because then when you do get a bad hand like this, you can discard it and get a better hand. I would be inclined even at this late stage to do that. Not bad, in my view. Got a silver, yep, that's fine too. Played the bat, you're going to trash something. Feels like there's loads of cursors in this game. Yeah, okay. So it must have started with 30, I suppose, and 16 have gone. So there are loads of cursors in the game. All right. So Dokushoka has played a mercenary. And trashes 2 estates. Yep, that's good. Gets 2 cards and 2 coins. I guess I'll play the Moldova first just to see what's what. Then you can actually get to play both those if you want to. You would have to, though, gain a silver, because this is right. This isn't your hand, right? You could gain a silver or something that gives an action. So you could also gain the guide as well. Yeah, maybe you didn't want to. I would have done that. Maybe gain the guide, use the villager, play the guide, and then you've got that there just in case you do get a bad hand in the future. No, you don't get a villager. Sorry, apologies. You don't get the villager. You'd only get the villager if you had gained a silver. Okay, so urchin and Tetron's getting an early duchy, as he often likes to do. So Tetron has 10, Cashew 0 so far, and Dokushoka 6. Are there any piles that are going to run out early? It doesn't particularly look like there are. So the game should be decided on provinces, I would think. Cashew got from Piazza. He got to play that Herald. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He got a copper at the top of his deck. He's playing the Herald now. Not huge amounts of coins he's getting here. So his hand is a bit slow. Maybe. He's got a pearl diver. None of them like the guy. I quite like the guy. Maybe that's just me. Okay, Exorcist. So would you want to trash something? Yeah, so Dokushoka is thinking about this copper, whether to save that up. So it could be trashed, yeah. Got a Herald and trash that copper. Okay. Tetron's first card was a Herald. And he's getting a vampire into his hand. Everybody has to discard. And has he got enough? He has got enough for province only by using desperation, which he does. So he does desperation to get +2, takes a curse at the same time, takes the province. So he's continuing on this strategy, putting pressure on the 2 opponents by building up a lead in points. Dokushoka is so sorry. Tetron has haunted everybody, and so everybody has to top deck a card. That was with vampire. I wonder if Tetron will take a duchy with the vampire. He has, yeah. Okay, Cashew is top decking a silver. Oh yeah, sorry, that was the Piazza again. So we know Kaiju has a silver on the top of the deck. He's playing a sculptor. So if he gains a silver, he'll get a villager, which is a sort of action he can use at a later date. Otherwise, he can gain any card up to 4. He's having to think about what he wants. Because you could get an exorcist, for example. And if you've got a card you really want to trash, and then trash it when it gets to the night phase. The count. Yes, of course, the count for him is 3 because he has used this ferry to get it cheaper. He hasn't actually bought very many of them, given that he's made it cheaper. You'd have thought he might have bought a few. Maybe it's just to get that first one so early. Okay, he did get the exorcist, so I'm expecting that he probably has something he wants to trash. Okay, he's done a silver and a gold, and so he can buy a card of up to 5, and he has chosen a haggler. Okay. Right. So Dokushoka managed to get a province as well there very quickly. And Tetron's continuing this strategy to get those provinces. So Tetron has a lead of 12 points over Dokushoka and 24 points over Kaiju. So it's looking pretty good, I think, for Tetron. Yeah, 7 provinces left, so there's still quite a way to go. As we can see, Dokushoka's next hand doesn't look that exciting, to be honest. Yeah, and it says Tetron's drawn a ghost, so he's got a ghost next time, which also is nice for the following turn. So he can use that. This turn, actually, he won't get... Yeah, so this turn, he won't score too many points. But next turn, as in the turn after, he should get a good go. Again, a Dokushoka is not going to get much this turn either. So we'll see. Okay, so for 2 points, get a what, Pearl Diver? Play the vampire and get something up to 5. What do you take? Haggler? Actually, I wouldn't take a Haggler. I was thinking Herald, actually. But maybe it's time to get a count. I'm saying count. All right, so Tetron and Kaiju both have to put a card on the top of their deck. See that eye there? That is deluded. So Tetron has the deluded state, can't buy actions this turn. Well, that's fine, because I think he'll be preferring to buy victory points if he can anyway. Okay, so Dokushoka does have a good turn lined up next time. You can see there's a province in hand there because you've got +2, and there that's a province. Tetron, top card was a gold. So not an action, but that's good for next time. Okay, bad omens. Definitely discard card, 2 coppers on top. So everybody else will get 2 coppers on the top of their deck, which will again be annoying. Tetron's hit a Pearl Dive with the ghost, which isn't fantastic because it's just quite a weak action, as we were talking about before. But still, it'll get you an extra card, so that's not too bad. Okay, Kaju's doing his mercenary and still managing to trash weak cards, so that's quite good. He's trashed a copper and an estate. But because they all had this bad omens, they're all getting coppers back into their hand. Okay. Fine. And this one had deluded as well, so can't buy actions. Again, maybe that's not a big deal. Getting a gold, that's fine. Okay, so this hand from Dokushoka, which was promising to get a province, hasn't managed it because it had to discard down to 3 cards. Interesting. So this one's also going to trash the Haggler and get a ghost, I think. And finally, someone's getting the guide. Yeah, I expect Dokushoka to pick up a ghost. Yes. Okay, Tetron plays the ghost, which we remember was the Pearl Diver. Here it comes. And choose a Herald. So you're going to play the Herald and put the province at the bottom of the deck. Okay. Will-o-wisp gets gold. Urchin, and everyone will need to discard. Kazu's thinking about what to discard. Yeah. And a Haggler. Yeah, there's a gold in there somewhere. Yes. And Tetron gets a province. Get a cheaper victory, non-victory card. So Tetron also gets a gold. This is looking, I would say, very good for Tetron. He has a good lead in victory points. His hand's also perfectly fine because he has a lot of golds and a lot of cards that get more action. So, for example, Heralds, he's trashed some of his weak cards. So I would say it's pretty convincing for him. Kazu now has 8, so can and has got a province. Fine. And gained a gold as well. Okay, Dokushoka has played the Sculptor, got this silver, also keeps a villager for the future. Okay. And what does Tetron have this time? 7. Yes, and Tetron does exactly that same trick that he used before in order to get another province. Keep the pressure on, take a curse. Don't worry about the curse. Take a province as well. And now he is 26 points clear of the nearest person. There's only 18 points left in provinces. So for someone else to win, they're going to have to get a lot of duchies and provinces without Tetron and the other player using them up first. So it is looking quite convincing. Kaju has 4. And nothing terribly exciting you can get for 4. Maybe get another count. No way, it doesn't. I think it doesn't. It's not going to affect the game. When we come to Dokushoka's turn, he or she does have a mercenary, which will allow 2 cards into trash. So they should probably use that and trash those coppers. And see if they can get enough for province. Okay, Kaju's having a bit of a think here and has got a herald. Yeah. And a count as well. Yes, because the herald costs more than the count, and from Haggler you can get a cheaper card. Alrighty, the locust is where you trash the top card of your deck. Now this can sometimes it isn't good to do locusts on someone, because if their top card happens to be a curse, they trash it and then they don't have to get another bad card. So locust is sometimes good and sometimes bad. Okay, Kaju's got a duchy. Tetron will be pleased to see that, because if both the opponents are collecting victory points, one of them can't get all the victory points, if you see what I mean. okay, this is a reasonable hand for Doku Stoker. I guess we'll trash the 2 coppers and keep the turn going. Yeah. Okay, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if he gets a silver to his hand, then that won't be quite enough for a province, unless you do that same trick that Tetron keeps doing, which is to use desperation and build it up to a province that way and accept the curse. Does the curse go into your hand? Gain a curse? No, it will go into your pile, because if it goes in the hand, he could trash it straight away, but that's not possible. Okay, you could instead get a card. You might do a card that then allows you to get another card, like Guide, Pearl Diver, or Herald. Yeah, it's chosen a silver. Okay, so that's 7. Yeah, you probably would do this desperation trick, and get a province. I think, unless you want to get the duchy and prolong the game to try and catch up, but I think it's not that plausible. Okay, right. What does Tetron have? So nothing from Piazza. Got a duchy and a Pearl Diver. Okay, so a very good lead there. 23 in the lead. Only 12 left in provinces. Okay. Right. Because you top decks of gold, as you would, has got 7. So we'll, yes, on the desperation as well to get a province. So the game should be over very, very soon. Do we want that guide at the top? Maybe the hand. You could, because you're not going to get the province on this turn. But then you could think, well, if I really am going to win this game, I need to buy a duchy this turn anyway. It's looking unlikely to win it anyway. I think Tetron's pretty clearly going to win this now. So Doku Stoker is probably deciding whether to end the misery or to keep on going. Yeah, okay, the game's ended now. All right, good game by Tetron, showing the strategy of not worrying about engines so much and building up some victory points. I will also end the stream now. Thank you for watching.